So I know that my last video was sort of talking about my worst quality, or what I thought it was, and that was just that I hold grudges and that sometimes I'm jealous and, I don't really get over things. You know, if you saw that video, you'll remember this village very well, but I'm gonna leave it because I flooded the whole place. Next village I find, though, I'm probably gonna stay for a while. Anyway, something happened recently, and this is sort of something that's happened throughout my whole life. And it'll never really make sense to me. Like, I'll never understand what I'm doing, and that's basically, you know, what it's like to be a guy and have guy friends. You're assholes to each other, but it's all in good fun. At least, that's how I've always been with my friends. But at some point, apparently I will like say something or do something that's considered like way worse than any of the other stuff that we've done to each other or said to each other. And this has happened my entire life where it's just like we have this pattern of being mean to each other, being very mean to each other, all in good fun, but then somehow I do something that I think is no worse than anything we've done to each other in the past. Or, sorry, not do something, because doing something and saying something, like, I understand why doing something mean would be actually a lot worse, but just saying something that I'm like, what, it's no worse than, like what we've said to each other in the past. And I straight up don't understand it. I still don't. I still can't really see why that's any worse than stuff that we've done before. And it always ends up the same way of like me not getting it and then me saying that I don't get it. And it basically probably comes off as me being super defensive when really I should probably just say sorry. But I don't feel like saying sorry because I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, and I feel like the person who's calling me out is being slightly hypocritical. But then at some point, like, even if I don't think that I'm wrong, I start to feel like shit about it anyway. Which is, like, kind of where I'm at right now. Usually it ends with me complaining about it to somebody. Usually not even the person who, I said the mean thing to. It's usually whoever gives me shit for it. And then I start apologizing to that person because the thing is, right, it usually isn't the same person. Usually the person who I was actually mean to, or I guess too mean to, usually that person doesn't care at all. It's stupid that this has happened so much. Like, literally, like I said, my entire life, but it always happens this way where I take a joke too far, I'm too mean to someone, and then a completely different person will call me out because the person I was actually too mean to doesn't care, or it's like they don't see it that way. But yeah, here, I'm gonna sleep in this village and I guess think about it more. Because there's definitely more that I have to say about this, and I'm wondering if this means that I'm just actually garbage. Or if it's just having a differing view on what's considered too far, or what. Because if I'm being honest, like, saying something too mean to me isn't really that big of a deal unless it's like the thing that will get me genuinely mad at someone or get me to stop talking to someone, it has to be repeated behavior. That's what it has been all the time. Like, somebody could say something, somebody who I've been, good friends with and has been nothing but cool to me, they could say something fucking insanely mean to me and I wouldn't care. But then if they repeatedly did it, then at some point it would wear me down and I would stop talking to them. And I asked one of my other friends about this, and he's like, Like, yeah, you know that I agree with that, but it doesn't seem like anybody else does. I thought that I could put water in that. It doesn't seem like anyone else can see it that way. Because I won't get it too into detail, but with the thing that I was just talking about, like specifically, and really, to be honest, like, I guess in a way, how it always is, whenever somebody calls me out for being too mean, and then I think that it's hypocritical, it's because they usually have been doing something for a long time. You know? Like, it isn't just. I don't see how this is any worse than this thing that you did one time. It's like, I don't see how saying something especially mean is any worse than your repeated being shitty in this way. And like I said, that's probably the part that makes me a bad person, or that could make me a bad person. The fact that I argue against instead of just apologizing. Because if I apologize, usually, sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, that's pretty bad what I did. But usually in those cases where I apparently said something that's too far, I don't apologize. I argue because I wouldn't know what I'm apologizing for. Like, I still don't. Like, looking back on those situations, because I remember a lot of them vividly, it's like some of them it's like, okay, like I can see how that was too far, but if I'm being honest, it's like if we're always acting like dickheads to each other, like I don't see how that person wouldn't have thick enough skin, you know? But yeah, it's I don't know. I feel bad about it. I just I know that like I said, these me repeating myself in these videos. That thing that I said in the last video was probably the worst thing about me. This is probably it. This is probably by far the worst thing about me, or talking to me, or trying to be friends with me. It's like I don't understand just this specific part of like social norms. Well, at least I assume that I don't since it happens so often. Is that a fence gate right there? No, but there's one right here. Yeah, honestly, it's something that I give up on at this point. I think I'm just gonna have to live with it. Like occasionally, if somebody, oh, you know what? I'll just bring this up. I'm in contact with my roommates for school, and one of them said that they were watching my videos. Like the first time that we talked, which was really fucking funny. So yeah, I guess if my roommates are watching this, future roommates, I'm sorry if you have to deal with that. Just know that I don't mean it. Like, if we're in the kind of friendship where we're just mean to each other for fun, because that's how a lot of friends are, they're just dicks to each other, and then I somehow take it too far, I don't mean to do that. I don't think that I am. I don't think that I'm doing anything worse than what would be considered appropriate for us. I'm sorry, like, I don't know. I give up. I give up. I give up on understanding it. I haven't been able to understand it for the last 18 years. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it means I'm garbage or I have, like, no empathy or something, but... Here, wait, I wonder, is this infinite water source? It is! Wow. See, look at how useful... No, never mind. No, it isn't. I was wrong. It's disappointing. Definitely not infinite water source. Anyway. Usually I try to, be someone who fixes things or fixes myself or something like that, but I've tried and failed with this, and yeah, like I've just said a bunch, I give up. It's just me, I guess. It's just a part of who I am. Anyway, Thanks for all the support, always. I'm gonna end this. Goodbye.